Well, good morning, everyone. It's great to see smiling faces. And I think most of you know me, but maybe I'm Reverend Maurene, as Kate said, and it's really my pleasure to be here this morning. And she mentioned last week we did a burning bowl ceremony, which I think was a lot of fun. I mean, who doesn't like matches and lighting a fire? But it was great to release that no longer supports our magnificence. So last week was out with the old, and this week is in with the new. So we're going to use the energy today to plant some seeds for goodness. And these, of course, are the seeds that we plant with our word, with our thoughts into the mind. So also, we have a new saying, fully alive in 25. Fully alive in 25. So remember, the past is history, the future's a mystery. The present is the gift, the gold. So we're going to talk about staying in the present too. Last week we pulled weeds and literally we wrote down a word of something that was a symbol or a thought, and we burned it and we let it go. And what was beautiful is just there were no ashes. It was gone. And that's how our thoughts can be. When we release something we don't want, it's gone forever. So this week, we're going to think about seeds of possibility, seeds for evolving our soul. Now, I've talked about quantum physics before, but quantum physics shows that the intention of the observer determines whether a quantum, which is a little packet of light, stays a wave or becomes a particle. Can you believe that you, as an observer, as a person, have that kind of power on that level? You do. You co-create and you manifest from your intentions, your words, and your thoughts. Universal intelligence, which we call also creative mind, the mind of God, reacts to us according to our belief in it. As Johnny said in his reading, what Jesus said, it's done unto you as you believe. So we draw into life what we think into it. We use the creative power every time we use our mind. It can be consciously directed or subconsciously. We can let the rest of society determine our lives for us, or we can take a more active role. Limitation, evil, lack, suffering, uncertainty, that's not God ordained. It's the result of ignorance. And we experience good and evil because we perceive duality rather than unity. So, religious science doesn't want us to dwell too much on theory and not enough practice. So today we're going to practice a little bit, and we'll talk more of it when we start, but we're going to have a little painting, little creativity afterwards. And we're going to create that seed of thought, a reminder for our subconscious that we can take with us, and it'll help remind us. And an example, if you can't think of a word, we're going to do a little process to come up with the word, but things like love, creativity, joy, beauty, peace, power, hope, perfect health, purpose, we'll come up with it. So Ralph Waldo Emerson, most of you know, he was a great American speaker, transcendentalist. He said, write it on your heart. Every day is the best day in the year. Also, this first week of the month, you have blank pages of a 365-page book. So write a good story. So first, little levity. Last year, I was able to keep all of my New Year's resolutions. Yes, I kept them tucked away in a journal in my bookcase. And my New Year's resolution this year is to read more. So yesterday I turned on the subtitles on my TV. Now this is one of my favorite. I've mentioned Mark Twain many times before, but he said, now, today is the accepted time to make your regular annual good resolutions. Next week you can begin paving hell with them, as usual. Some of you maybe. Hell is paved with good intentions. Okay. So it's interesting how, I was talking to Johnny about this actually, how we look at last year as an old man by the end of the year, kind of worn out, and we look at the new year as this little baby. And we think of the year as having a beginning and an ending, but it doesn't end. We go on forever. It's infinite. And it's more like a circle, it's more like a spiral that continues to go up. We come around to January again, but this is January 2025, and we are evolving every day with every thought. We take an active part in our evolution. So today I'm going to just have you imagine you're all farmers. You're a farmer. You don't know it, but you're a farmer. Not always consciously, but subconsciously. We're always planting these ideas into the mind of God. And you are responsible for your life and your thoughts. Ernest Holmes often says, control your thoughts. Really take control. Watch what you're thinking. Watch what you're saying. You have a power for good and you can use it. And Kate mentioned that earlier. We have a power for good that's greater than we are, and we can use it. So let's use it. It's better to do it consciously than unconsciously. So how do we do that? Well, to grow things, you have to have things like sunshine, and you have to have water and fertilizer. Well, on a spiritual level, we use spiritual tools. The two most important tools I always talk about, gratitude, forgiveness. Those are the two most. And Jim has a book on gratitude. Thank you, God, that, thank you. So just this year, it was hard for me to say thank you 2024. But what name would you give this year, this past year? How was your journey last year? What was the best and the worst thing? When my daughter would come home from high school, I'd always ask, she wouldn't talk to me, teenagers grunt. But I would always say, what was the best and what was the worst thing that happened to you today? Well, then I would get a response. So it's kind of like, what was the best and what was the worst this year for you? What gifts do you bring with you into the new year? And there are gifts. There are always gifts. My year, was filled with loss and grief and sadness and despair. I lost my niece. I lost my dog of 16 years. But it was also filled with hope and new life. My niece had a grandchild, and we got a puppy. So, new life, and we got married. So if I had to sum up 2024, I would say life. It was life. Last year was the sample of life to the greatest. So say with me, thank you 2024. Thank you 2024. I release and I let go. The other tool is forgiveness. And I've talked about forgiveness. We all talk about it. But we have to remember to do it because Peter came to Jesus. It is written that he said, should I be like a rabbi? Should I forgive 3 times every week? Jesus said no. 7 times 70. That means never stop forgiving. You have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive the people around you. And it's a good thing to do when you wake up and when you go to bed at night. Thank you and forgive me. Let go of judgment. In religious science, we have something called affirmative prayer. We call it spiritual mind treatment, because we treat our mind. And it also means speaking your word. And in the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. We speak the word of truth of who we really are. And this is how we sow a seed. And you go to a minister or practitioner, they can, if you cannot for yourself pray for your highest good, they can do it for you. Because they know the truth about who and what you are. Your spirit expressing in this human form. You don't have to be a practitioner. You can ask for a practitioner, but you can do it. You can ask for what you want. The master teacher said, whatever you ask in prayer, believing you shall receive. So affirm your good. Do you remember being told, ask, and it will be given, seek, and you will find, knock, and the door will be opened? So ask for what you want. Like, example, I'm planting a seed for clarity and perfect health. So I say, I have clarity. I am clarity. I am one with clarity. I make my affirmations. I'm healthy. I feel vibrant. I'm filled with energy. More affirmations. I am planting these seeds. Treat and move your feet. It's what we say in religious science. That means you have to do the knocking. You have to do the asking. You take the first step, and Spirit takes 99 steps to you. Also, preparing the soil for your thought also means to visualize it. See it as finished. See it as done. I was thinking about that planting. Ernest Holmes says something like planting cucumbers and watermelon. And I thought, watermelon, what a wonderful thing to have. Watermelon, and you think about it, your mouth waters, and you see that watermelon, and you feel what that feels like. It's the same with, say, abundance. You see it, you feel it. You see receiving a check, or you see numbers going up in your savings account or your bank account. You feel more free to travel. You feel more creative. So remember, it's God's pleasure to give you the kingdom. Make room for it and say yes, yes. And feel what it's like. Because I call that the special sauce. And I got to put a little special sauce on each prayer. And the special sauce is, okay, if you want more friends, what does it feel like to have more friends? Doesn't it kind of feel happy? What does it feel like for unlimited prosperity? To me, I feel free. Do what I want to do when I want to do it. How about perfect, healthy body? I feel excited, like an ever-ready bunny. And how about more creativity? Okay, I feel like I'm having fun when I'm drawing or painting on rocks. It's great. So feel your emotions. The feeling directs the subconscious, and your prayer, your treatment, will manifest more quickly. So Johnny, thank you for that talk. You just mentioned that seed perfection within. Ernest Holmes said, like the creative soil in which seeds are planted and from which plant life comes, the soul of the universe is the creative medium, which the word of spirit falls, and from which creation arises. Creation means the passing of substance into form through a law which is set in motion by the word of spirit. The law of mind is our access to the original creative genius of the universe, and has no intention for us other than the intention that we give it. What he's saying, power is impartial. God doesn't choose favorites. You all have this power. When you speak your word, when you have a thought, you have a desire and intention, you're directing substance into form. So say what you want. You say, I want X, Y, and Z. Spirit says, okay, how it's going to happen. And it can surprise you in so many ways. Sometimes people say, well, I've asked for something, I don't want to ask too much. No. Ask. Ask and it'll be given. Ask for something big. It doesn't matter whether it's little or big. Ask for what you want. And don't give up. Some people say, well, I prayed on it for a week and it didn't happen. Put your concentration on it again. Now, if you change your mind, you say, oh, I don't really need that kind of car. I want a safer car. Well, then put your attention on the safer type of automobile. Look at your desire and, again, put your concentration, put your mind on it. Now, law of attraction, some of you, I've talked about law of attraction before, but the law of attraction brings that we want more of in our life because it's a law of reflection. It's like a mirror. So if you want more friends, be a friend. If you want greater prosperity, be and act and feel as if you have greater abundance in your life. And you see the abundance all around you. And that attracts more. It's like money attracts money. Friends attract friends. Health attracts healthy food and healthy environment and healthy people. That basically is be open to receive. Now, know that you're blessed. Know it. And you will be. It's kind of like act as if it is so, and it is. Now, Shakespeare said, it's not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. Again, we take responsibility and we act. You have to take the first step. And people say, well, I want something different in my life. But it's the same old, same old. And I mentioned that last week. Albert Einstein said, doing the same thing you've always done, expecting different results, insanity. So you have to change your thinking. You are good enough. You are perfect. You are worthy. You are blessed. So participate. Move your feet. Go in the direction that you want. And I'm always saying, Raymond Charles Barker, his book about decision making, make a decision. Turn away from that. Turn away from it, and go in a different direction. Physically, change. Ernest Holmes said, we do know that when a seed is put into the ground, the law pertaining to growth operates and a plant is produced. Unless the seed is planted, no plant will be produced. You can't go to the movie, you can't go to the play, you can't win the lottery if you don't buy the ticket. So buy the ticket, plant the seeds for good. There's also in Proverbs, as you sow, so shall you reap, cause and effect. You want something in your life, you bring that forward into your thinking. Stop with the awfulizing. Stop with the judgment. Stop beating yourself up. Just remember that seed perfection within you. That's God. Love God first. Now, a Pulitzer Prize woman by the name of Ellen, she said, we spend January 1st walking through our lives, room by room, drawing up a list of work to be done, looking for flaws. What we should be doing is walking through the rooms of our lives, not looking for problems, but for potential. So look for the good in every room that you walk into this year. Not only the rooms in your house, but the rooms in everybody else's house. Look for the good. And Reverend Scott Albright, he does an online talk that I read and listen to sometimes. He said, in the new year, we can choose to release our beliefs and actions that keep us stilted. Those ideas about ourselves and life that inhibit us living the fulfilled life that God desires for us. You know how sometimes we're just a little timid at letting all our music out? The Australians call it being a tall poppy, too tall. Got fit ins. We're a little shy at being magnificent. So we do mediocre things just to blend in. Stop. Our destiny is to live a life of wholeness, to reveal the kingdom of God. Let's mindfully know that peace, love, poise, power, the power of God is more authentic than our little illusions of limitations. You're one with the same power that created the cosmos, the same life energy that has made all things, and he says, lovely and elegant. That's your divine heritage. So what do you want more of in 2025? Love, light, peace, power, etc. Now's the time to plant the seeds. Now, as far as resolutions, people always make resolutions, and there's the could've, should've, would've. And I say, what about the one you must? The only resolution you must: love. Love yourself. Love everyone else. Love God as you. So, Reverend Joyce Rupp, she said, the single most significant dimension of life is your relationship with the source of goodness. Yes. Make choices that reflect your truest self. Yes. And look in the mirror at least once a day and smile. Smile. How beautiful you are. How amazing you are. Carry peace in your heart and encourage it of others so our planet becomes a place where violence and division and war are no more. So if you're beginning a new year, I just want to say, may you be blessed and inspired and filled with joy this year, and just move through this year perfect and divinely in love with God. So in closing, I want us just to take one moment and come up with a word. So if you want to take a breath and close your eyes, that might help bring out a symbol or a word, your favorite word, your favorite purpose for this year. So just take a deep breath, and I'm going to be silent for a minute here, and you come up with the word. Okay. Did we all get a word? All right. If not, I also, on the table, I have a list of words. I have lots of words you can choose from. So, thank you all. So it is.